Hello and welcome. Plenty of questions to ask. The question that we are asking today, first things first, the 3-0 whitewash is now past. However much we cry, we rant, we shout, we scream, we moan, we lament, it is not going to change. So the thing to do now is to look forward. How can India change things around in Australia? And let me say this, it has happened before. India is not the first team to lose, India is not the last team to lose. The Brazilian football team lost 7-1 in the World Cup at home soil. Football did not come to a standstill in Brazil. I have since yesterday seen a number of videos. There was one platform in Hindi which was calling the cricketers nikamma, this, that, abusing them, all the nonsense. I mean, for God's sake, why do we in the media have to discredit ourselves by doing this? Constructively critical, but abuse. How does anyone have the right to abuse anyone? For a loss, for a test series loss, you have the right to abuse Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Gautam Gambhir. Who are you? Who are you, for God's sake? And there are many such platforms around. In fact, I was having a chat with a couple of people, and they said we don't even watch, and that is what it becomes like when things sort of degenerate to this extent. That's point one. Our job here at Rev Sports is to try and figure out what is the way forward. Can India turn it around? What is the option for India to turn it around? What are the options for India to turn it around? Can things change? Because they have 36 all out in 2021-20, and next test match everybody said 4-0 series loss, India won. We've put out an interview with Ajinkya Rahane today. Gargi Raut has a clip which she will show. The point here is, on the eve of Virat Kohli's birthday, two major questions as part of this show. Can Virat Kohli get his mojo back and lead the fight in Australia? 2014, after the 10 innings, 134 in England, 400s from Kohli. 2018, he was captain. 2021, he came back. Ajinkya Rahane led the team. Can Virat Kohli get his batting mojo back? Is the question that we are asking. Question number two. If Rohit Sharma doesn't play at the Optus Stadium in Perth, who should open for India? Should it be Jaiswal and KL Rahul? Should it be somebody else? So plenty of questions over the next 30, 40, 45 minutes. I will start with Shomik Chakraborty. Shomik, first things first, can Virat Kohli get his mojo back in Australia? Pace and bounce, not spin. Can Virat Kohli get it back?
I expect him to do better in Australia because is something where he's like a duck to water. His record in Australia, the ball will come onto the bat, the pace and bounce. He likes pace and bounce. See, spin has always been Virat's bugbear. It's not, this series is not a case in isolation. Even when he was at his peak, Moeen Ali troubled him with his not so fan side off spin at Southampton. You know that. So spin has always been his bugbear, but he likes to bat on Australian pitches, and he will. I mean, now that his pride is hurt. See, at the end of the day, Virat Kohli is a champion cricketer in his own right, and obviously his pride is hurt. And I think he will try to make a statement, and I expect him to do much, much better. Uh, in fact, I would go. I mean, this is an unpopular opinion, but I will not be surprised if he returns from Australia as India's highest run scorer.
Big statement coming from Shomik Chakraborty. Before I go to Ogni, Bharat, Ishan, Devashish, and Gargi. Gargi, can you play the clip? R. Sridhar, the full interview tomorrow at noon. R. Sridhar, former India fielding coach, one of the think tank who helped the turnaround after 36 all out, with Ravi Shastri, Bharat Arun, and Ajinkya Rahane, spoke to us this morning at length, about 30 odd minutes. What should India do? Does he expect India to turn it around? What does Kohli do? Gargi Rao, play that clip and I will come to all my guests. By the way, this interview is being aired on his birthday, 5th of November. You've been with that guy. I mean, I'm backing Virat Kohli to turn things around. On his birthday, one final rediscovery Tendulkar did in 2010. Kohli is a champion. I'm not comparing anyone with Tendulkar. Tendulkar is different, but Kohli is a champion, has had great stuff in Australia. 2014, even in his debut series, if you see Perth, that is when Virat Kohli found his mojo, 75. Then that Adelaide 100. Then the transformation happened. 2014 400s. 2018 captain won that series. You have sort of spent so many years with that guy mentally. I'm kind of backing Virat Kohli to turn things around. Your thoughts?
I mean, I'm a huge Virat Kohli fan, and I would like to wish him a very, very happy birthday on air. And there's only one wish which I've always had for him, and I've told this to him multiple times. Let the child in you always be alive. Keep the child in you alive, Virat Kohli, because that is your strength. And you always see Virat Kohli, the child in him, while he's playing the sport, because as a child, when he played the sport, he enjoyed it. So keep the child in you alive, and there's no better place in Australia for Virat Kohli to, you know, come back and make this an absolute fairy tale for India, because he loves those conditions. He thrives in those conditions. He loves a fight, and that is Virat Kohli. And India need him now more than ever. And I think you're going to see the best of Virat Kohli in Australia. I don't think, I'm sure you're going to see the best of Virat Kohli in Australia. Virat Kohli, beast mode in Australia.
Strong words, Ogni, strong words. Virat Kohli best in Australia from our Sridhar. Your thoughts?
See, again, there's no denying the fact that Virat Kohli has been an absolute champion for India. Come on. I mean, look at the number of matches he's won for you. So it's extremely unfair to abuse him or even drag his family into this. Yes, it's fine. It's a series loss. It's 3-0. It's whitewash. But as you said, Boriada, right at the beginning of this show, the world doesn't end here. The buck doesn't stop here. Indian cricket doesn't come to a halt, doesn't come to a standstill, and neither does Virat Kohli's career. He has won so many matches for India, and let's go by his legacy. An wounded lion is very, very dangerous. You have hurt his pride. What New Zealand has effectively done, I think this is probably a blessing in disguise. They have wounded Virat Kohli's pride. And whenever Kohli has been down, his chips have been down. Look at his performances. He has loved to face challenge by looking the challenge in the eye. He has not shied away from challenges, be it in England, be it in. I mean, you just compare the two series, one in England when he played, and again in 2018 when he played in England. James Anderson almost made him dance to his tune the first time. And look at what happened after that in 2018. So that speaks heaps and speaks volumes about Virat Kohli, the professional, the athlete, the champion, the sports person. It's been a miserable series for him, but I definitely think he will turn it around in Australia. I am still not sure whether he will be the highest run getter, but he will be an essential cog in the Indian middle order. I have mentioned time and again, even in my analysis this morning, you don't have a replacement of Virat Kohli's caliber in Test cricket at number 4. You need Virat Kohli, the batsman, to fire in Border Gavaskar Trophy. The same Virat Kohli who scored twin hundreds in Adelaide. The same Virat who, after taking over the captaincy, made India dream about winning that impossible match on the fifth and final day. And I think Virat would have pulled it off if Murali Vijay hadn't gone out. So it's very important for Virat Kohli to step ahead as a batsman, and definitely he will do it. The Australian conditions, they favor him, and we have all known about his heroics in Australia, being struck by a fierce delivery from Mitchell Johnson without blinking an eyelid. This man stood up. He took it on the grill of his helmet, and without blinking an eyelid, he stood up. So he has loved Australian conditions. He loves Aussie challenge, and Aussie crowd is a fan of Virat Kohli, so he will get massive, massive crowd support. So definitely backing Virat Kohli to turn things around down under.
Nishant Jha, Bharat sir, your insights are extraordinary. Thank you for making Twitter a better place. Bharat Ramraj, Twitter star. Come on, tell me, what's happening with Virat Kohli?
What?
Do you back
How
Virat
is
Kohli
it?
to turn it around?
Yeah, see, one thing I will add to all those points is, see, Virat Kohli is 36. One thing I will add to all those points is Virat Kohli is now 36. He will be 36 tomorrow. It's not 26 or 28. It's just the other side of things. As you get older, the body slows down, which happened to even the great Sachin Tendulkar in 2012 when he got out to Team Southeast, scrambled seam ball, and Martin Crowe rightly wrote an article that Tendulkar is very much was geared up to play that delivery. He was really frustrated after getting out because his body really didn't help him to move quickly to that particular delivery and defend. So that's one thing that might still go against Kohli because he's not getting any younger. But definitely still a very good player of pace bowling. We saw that in the Centurion Test against South Africa. That was a cracked up surface, and he was even ready to play shots of the back foot through the offside. That is something that we don't usually see with Virat Kohli. He's not a cutter, not a good square cutter, but he was ready to play one square cut. So that means he still has it in him against pace bowling. But only thing I would worry is he's not getting any younger, and when you go through such a poor run of scores, that kind of negative thoughts will be in his head. Somewhere he has to somehow get back into that kind of mental space where he feels that he can go there and score runs.
So Bharat Ramraj putting a critical edge, critical perspective mentally, yes. Gargi Rao, your thoughts? The point is, yes, 36. But Tendulkar rediscovered himself in 2010 like anybody's business. Got ICC Player of the Year, that 100 in South Africa, he still rates it as one of his best. There are examples. People have done that. It is not as if people haven't. Virat Kohli has something to look forward to also, and this is his platform. I mean, if he turns it around, one final time, one final hurrah, last dance, Border Gavaskar Trophy, if he sort of puts up a fight, 5 test matches, couple of hundreds, incredible. Your thoughts on possible for Virat Kohli, Gargi Rao?
I think it's possible, and that's why even after the loss against New Zealand, I said that I was optimistic about this batting lineup because we've got the best in the world. Look, Virat Kohli, inarguably the best, one of the best in the world, and right now I think he has a few more miles left in his tank. We've seen Virat Kohli, reinvent himself more than a couple of times throughout his career, and I don't see any reason why he can't do it once more for the final time. Possibly for the final time, because something that makes Virat Kohli different from everyone else is the fact that he's mentally very, very tough and he possesses the ability to turn things around. Maybe right now it's just a mental block because you don't really. Who are we to point out any technical errors or whatever? But when it comes to Virat Kohli, I think it's a mental block, and once he gets into that, like Sridhar said, once he gets into that beast mode, it's over for everyone. Mute.
Devashish Sen, you're also, one of those people who's always an optimist, and I like that. Your thoughts, you will be in Australia in 10 days' time. It will be a really painful summer if you have to see 4-0 or something like that. So it is essential for Indian touring media, yourself, all of us, people who will be there. We want Virat Kohli to stand up. I mean, if you think all the series, 2011-12, he was nowhere in the first 2 tests. He got his mojo back in Perth, then the 100 in Adelaide, making of Virat Kohli. 2014, greatness. 2018, captain, winning that series down under. 21, he wasn't there. But even when he was there, except that 36 all out, in the first innings, he did have a good innings, even in that pink ball test of 70 odd. So Virat Kohli did have a very good batting start in Australia. Devashish Sen, can he do it again?
If there is any one Indian cricketer who can be counted to score runs, I will put my money on Virat Kohli. Given that his success and obviously he has released a pace and bouncy track in Australia, and we have seen it. Means if you look back, I was there at that in that series where he scored a brilliant knock in Perth and then followed it up. And that and the people in Australia, the fans in Australia, saw the first glimpse of Virat Kohli, the batter, and ever since then he has just taken it forward. Yes, the last series he hasn't been in the best, but then and perhaps with so much of criticism going around after his failure in India in the last couple of series, it will be interesting the Virat, the batter. But then the only thing that worries me, that concerns me, is his age. Obviously, you cannot get that flamboyant Virat, what he was 10 years down the line. But when it comes to commitment, no better than Virat Kohli, the batter. Means obviously he will be the first one to put up his hand, and he released that Indian tag on his chest, and that to me sets apart from any other Indian batter, be it a Rohit Sharma, be it a you name it. But then when it comes to Virat Kohli, he always released that challenge against Australians. If there is one opponent who Virat Kohli releases, it has to be the Aussies. So I will definitely bank on Virat to score runs.
Ishan Shane, the fact that Sridhar said one thing, fight. This guy loves his fight. He will, whether it's Mitchell Johnson, whether it's Pat Cummins, he will try and get in. The Australian crowd might just get stuck into him, and that might help him. It might just help his ego. When you abuse a Tendulkar, when you abuse a Kohli, it gets them going. So Ishan Shane, question straight. Age, we have seen tennis stars, we have seen football stars, we have seen Messi, we have seen Djokovic, we have seen all these guys turn the clock. One final hurrah. Your thoughts? Can Virat Kohli, 5 test matches, 2 months, can he stand up?
Absolutely possible, Boryada. And age is definitely not on his side, but I think we're possibly forgetting that he's maybe the fittest Indian cricketer to ever play the sport. So even though he's 36 years of age, he might be personally feeling like a 28 or a 29-year old still. So I think the fitness has helped him. He's always advocated the fact that if I want to play the longer format, if I want to continue on playing for India, I have to be supremely fit, which he definitely is. And obviously, he loves a contest. The Aussies love a contest back as well. So I'm banking on him to get some runs. Definitely, it's not going to be easy. I feel the Aussies will come much harder than they usually do. They always come hard, but it's not going to be as easy in my opinion. But he's supremely fit, Boryada. So I definitely feel, even though the age factor is not on his side, he's surely someone who still must be feeling like a 28-year-old at the moment on the field. So he loves the contest. I'm hoping that he gets some runs as well. I think no better opportunity for him to do that. And like we always say, like we always notice in the past as well, after a certain setback, he comes back stronger. And I feel in Australia, against Australia, we might expect that same Virat Kohli coming back harder, coming back stronger, and taking India through. But it won't be as easy, in my opinion.
I like the optimism this panel has shown, critical optimism. And there's one, yes, Shomik, I'm coming to you. Asim Hans, Kohli wants to play for the national team. He needs to play domestic cricket and prove he can still play spin and get big scores. Australia is not about spin. That's for later. For the moment, boss, there is no domestic cricket to play in the next 10 days. He's part of your team, Asim Hans. He's going to go to Australia on 10th November. We are asking this question, can he turn it around in Australia? Do you expect him to play between 6, 7, 8, 9 and fly on the 10th? That's not possible. That's foolish. No one should do that, right? Because people also need their breaks. You cannot finish a Ranji Trophy, get on the flight. That's not going to happen. You will get on the flight to Australia now. He's your best at number 4. Take it. Shomik Chakraborty, yes, your point.
I agree with the point that Debashis raised about Virat's age 36. He very rightly mentioned that. But we need to also consider the fact that with modern day science and the way Virat looks after his body, I mean, 36, Sachin got a second win at 37. Rahul got a second win at 37 in England. The centuries he scored in that. That was a dreadful series for India. But personally, Rahul was fantastic. I mean, he single-handedly carried India's honor in that series, basically. So the thing, and now in modern day, 36 is. I mean, you can count out another 4 years the way Virat looks after his body. So everything taken into account, I don't think age should be that much of a factor. And Virat, I would have the point that Sridhar has made here with the interview with you. I'm totally with that. Maybe Virat needs to rediscover the child in him. We need a confrontational Virat on the field. Maybe, he's now a proper family man. With two kids, and with age he has mellowed down. But Virat needs to rediscover the child in him. We need a confrontational Virat who will be pumped up with energy, who will be pumped up with anger, who will do all his antics, and I think that will help him score his runs, will help him regain his mojo.
So you want the Virat Kohli of 20. Yeah. There's a question here. Bharat Ramraj, you're a social media champion yourself. Somebody says, he's spending a lot. What problem? He has focused too much on personal leaves, Insta reels, social media posts, etc. Tomogno Basu, one of our regular viewers. Ogni, actually take this before I go to Bharat. Somebody says, do you think he handles social media himself? Anyone can focus on anything they want on their own, in their own time. So why is there a debate? I think fair point, Ogni. I mean, what he does in his social media space is not any of our business, as long as he does his cricket to the best of his ability. And that's Virat Kohli, for God's sake. I mean, we cannot judge or grudge anyone. Grudge is the word for 50 million followers. He did not ask for 50 million people to follow. People followed him. So that's not his thing. As long as that guy practices and gets ready the best in Australia in the next 20 days, goes out there and gives it back to the Aussies, we should be happy. That's where he belongs, and that's where all of India should focus, not on his Insta reel and his family life. Ogni.
Absolutely right, Boryada. In fact, you covered almost my whole of the argument here. See, there is no argument actually. In fact, you're absolutely right that he did not ask people to follow him. People followed him. People consider him a sports idol. People consider him a sports icon, and that's none of his fault. He has been representing India at the highest level for so many years, and he has done this exceedingly well for past so many years. There are a lot of people actually follow him on social media, and people actually look up to him in real life also. And now tell me one thing: what does Virat Kohli do if a reputed brand comes to him with an offer with a handsome offer saying that if you endorse our brand, we will give you this amount of money? Why will Virat Kohli say no? Why would he say no? In fact, none of us would say no. Not me, not Gargi, not Bharat, not Shramikda, not Ishan, not even you. But not at the cost of our profession, right? If I have a live scheduled, suppose if I have a live schedule, if I have a recording scheduled, if I have an interview scheduled, I'll prioritize that. Similarly, Virat Kohli has prioritized his cricket over and over again. For n number of years, Virat Kohli has always prioritized his cricket. He still trains hard, he practices hard in the nets, and Shomikda is absolutely right. He's one of the fittest players going around in the world right now, not only in India. I just saw a question. I saw it 1 or 2 days back saying, are the yo-yo parameters different for Virat and Rohit? I mean, come on. Virat Kohli, the person who prioritized yo-yo, the person who stressed on yo-yo test for Indian athletes, especially for Indian cricketers. You really mean to say the parameters are different? It's none of his fault that social media, that he's so much popular on social media. He may endorse 2,000 brands, I don't care, as long as he gets me hundreds in Australia. One bad series, yes. One bad series for Virat Kohli, definitely. Daunting task ahead in Australia, in Down Under, yes. But he has always thrived in these conditions. Back to the wall, pressure situation. He will look Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins, lion in the eye, and will make a statement. Make no mistake about that. And 10 brands will again keep chasing after him after the Border Gavaskar Trophy. That's my bet on Virat.
Bharat Ramraj, there's a question for you. Bharat sir mentioned on X that Rohit was adapting better versus Henry at the Wankhede, but we have seen him struggle recently. Can he survive and score against the likes of Cummins, Hazelwood, and Stark? He's taken it to Rohit. But Bharat, before that, there's so much talk about Virat Kohli living in London and all that, right? Firstly, it's absolute nonsense. When the camp starts, Virat Kohli is there and he's part of that camp. If he's not there, it's the job of the BCCI to pull him up, and they will. It's their job. If somebody is being prima donna, it's their job. If somebody at Rev Sports doesn't sort of follow the line, it's my job as the editor to say, hello, this is not the way. So that's number one. Secondly, for the longest time, we have been hearing that our cricketers need to go to England and play county cricket and get ready with conditions in England and all of that. So what if Kohli practices in England? What's the problem? What if Kohli practices in England? I mean, you mean to say Virat Kohli is not even practicing? He's only chilling out? I mean, that's what, are we claiming that because he's staying in London, everything has gone away? And the moment he comes back to India, he will learn to play spin better? Are we daft? Are we stupid? I mean, what is this? So then, if somebody goes to England, Moeen Ali gets tons of wickets against us in England. If there is nobody who can play spin in England or nobody can practice spin, then why give wickets to spin in England? These kind of arguments that, Virat Kohli is now half resident of London, which is why he can't play cricket in India. Absolute nonsense. Absolute utter nonsense. So, and that is the problem of the media. Because I keep saying the media is divided into two parts. One, we masquerade as cheerleaders. One good innings and everybody will say, look, redemption time. Hello. No, neither is he God nor is he a devil. There is something in between, and that is called perspective. The media doesn't have that. There are people who will go and pose with the Indian cricket team and take photographs and put it on their social media thing and say, hello, I've arrived. Why? Because the cricketers have taken one photo with me. Are you daft? You're a journalist. Are you stupid? That is the problem. That is the problem with our media. You will either abuse or you will make these guys gods. Bharat Ramraj, question. Virat Kohli now needs to get his act together in the 22 yards. Forget spin. You keep doing technicalities, and I like that in you. 4 test matches in Perth, 20 plus wickets by Nathan Lyon because of the overspin. Washington Sundar gives that overspin. Is Nathan Lyon somebody that also Kohli needs to keep an eye on in Perth? Because they know he's susceptible, they might just get him on. So while he trains for the faster bowlers, given recent conditions in Perth and the impact of overspin, do you see Nathan Lyon also as a factor? Bharat Ramraj.
Yeah, Nathan Lyon obviously is a factor at Perth. Even the old Waka ground used to be a factor. The simple reason is at Perth, you get a lot of heat, sunshine. There's a lot of sunshine, so the pitch will break down. There will be cracks after 3-4 days. So then someone like Nathan Lyon who bowls that overspin, gets that bounce, will definitely become a factor because we'll get that bounce. So with Virat Kohli, perhaps what they will try to do is he's someone who likes to plant his front foot forward, tries to lunge forward. So they might have a forward short leg fielder there and try to get him caught bat pad because there will be a little more bounce at Perth. That could be a threat for Kohli. So it's important again. If I go and ask a former cricketer, if I go and ask an expert about how to play spin, they will again say the same thing, that this funda is simple. You pick the length and then play late. So somewhere that is the thing with Kohli as well. Getting perhaps that he has that little bit of anxiety perhaps currently because he's going through a poor patch, that is lunging forward a lot. So that always leads to dismissal. So I guess that is where it comes down to with regard to Virat Kohli. Just wanted to add a simple point on Tendulkar. I know this is not about Sachin Tendulkar, but people talk about how Tendulkar reinvented himself as the years went on. Here is a cricketer who I go back to 2003 World Cup game between England and India. In a single game, this guy changed from no trigger to trigger in that innings of 50 against Flintoff and Caddick. For Caddick, he had a trigger. For Flintoff, he had no trigger. For Caddick, he had a trigger. In a single innings, he did that. And that tells you something about him being a God-gifted cricketer and how he could reinvent. He kept changing things from grip to wrist cock or his triggers.
Okay. I will. Yes, Ogni, before that, just to let you know, Bharat, I asked Sachin this. Somebody went and told him about Caddick. Huh? Somebody went and told that Andy Caddick has said this about you. He said, no, I don't know about it. He knew everything. He will pose as if he knows nothing. No, he's not heard. He has not seen. He has not read. He'll say, no, I don't know. And that shot was conscious. When he played that shot, it was outside the ground. It was a conscious shot. Sachin Tendulkar knows everything. And he kept it in mind and it came consciously. Henry Olonga will tell you this beautifully. Shoaib Akhtar will tell you this. The Shoaib Akhtar story is God gifted. Shoaib Akhtar said, when he came out to bat, I told Wakar, I'll bowl 150k. He said, first ball, this guy hits me for a boundary. I am like, no, this is a fluke shot. Then he played that shot, and this guy is like, okay, another fluke shot. Then that third man six.
Yes.
Like, come on, boss, it's just a top edge gone. And then that straight, boom, block. Shoaib thought I'll get down, pick it up, go back to my run up. And by the time he got down, it was to the boundary. He turned to Wakar and said, the world's best batsman is batting like the world's best batsman. What can I do? That's Sachin Tendulkar. That's a different art. It's a different ball game, completely different. But I think Kohli can reinvent himself. Is the point we were talking about. Ogni, you give me the Kohli thing before I go to the second part of this show. 3 parts. The Venkatesh Iyer interview which we had. Somebody asked why Venkatesh Iyer is in the thumbnail. We will play that part. Quick debate on the IPL auction, and then we will ask the other important question: should KL Rahul open if Rohit Sharma is not there in Perth? Opening your point.
Yeah. Speaking about Nathan Lyon, Boriada, I just like to highlight one player here, and I still think India need him desperately for Border Gavaskar Trophy. And my point is not about VK playing Nathan Lyon. My point is India will miss the services of a certain Cheteshwar Pujara against Nathan Lyon. I mean, the way Pujara tackled Lyon in the last Border Gavaskar Trophy, consistently stepping out, smothering the spin, and according to an interview with you, Pujara had specifically taken preparation to handle Nathan Lyon down under in Border Gavaskar Trophy. Now, do we have those players who will brace themselves specifically for the red ball format, for the 5 day stress cricket format, for down under conditions, and for specifically playing Nathan Lyon? So I still think you need a Cheteshwar Pujara, even if not those bruises on the body, you need a Cheteshwar Pujara to smother and nullify the effect of a certain Nathan Lyon. Boryada. That was my point.
Sadly, that's not going to happen, Ogni, because the fact is he's not part of the team, he's not part of India A, the team is done. So it's unless you send him as reinforcement, which I don't see happening. I actually don't, because you've got to give Sai Sudarshan, the rest of the boys who are there, the India A boys. So however much, even I thought so, like I've said this Pujara, but unfortunately he's not there. So the consensus here, and we will talk a lot more about Virat Kohli tomorrow, it's his birthday. All of us will wish him well, and we will wish that he will sort of have this final rediscovery. The rediscovery that will get us 5 tests in Australia and 5 tests in England. WTC, forget about it for the moment. But the fact of the matter is we want the 10 test matches from Kohli. Moving on, we played the Venkatesh Iyer interview. Gargi's got a clip, and a beautiful clip as that. All of us are criticizing Gautam Gambhir. People are questioning Gautam Gambhir. Oh, how is it that he's coach? Can he empower? He's a bad leader. How is he doing? This is what Gautam Gambhir can do. He can empower his boys. Listen in to Venkatesh Iyer as to what Gautam Gambhir did to Venkatesh Iyer, and we will come back and discuss a bit about the IPL auction and the Gautam Gambhir role. Kargi, can you play that clip, please? Many of us clearly remember about your leadership ability. You were part of the leadership group. How much did you learn? Because clearly you give people an option now. You were part of that leadership group. You have the experience of playing for the country, for the club with success, for the franchise with success. Tell me a little bit about that. That stint as vice captain of KKR when Nitish unfortunately was not there. Tell me about your thing. I mean, this kind of adds a feather. Indian all-rounder, rare. But the ability to do multiple things, open, rare, and also at various positions in the batting order, plus this leadership ability gives you a kind of edge going into the auction. Thoughts about that?
Well, obviously, we've had this conversation. I've had this conversation with my coaches as well, and I remember doing an interview with you where I've always maintained that I want to contribute in multiple facets of the game, be it batting, bowling, fielding, or even maybe suggestions on the field, off the field, be it to the coaches or captain or players. I've always maintained that. And this year, I remember there was a gym session before the tournament started, and Gigi sir was also there. Gautam Bhai was there. He came up and he told me that you've been with this franchise for 4 years now, so you're a senior in that sense, and we expect you to be a leader. And that suddenly gives you a lot of confidence. It makes you feel like you belong there, and okay, now this is my franchise, and I can say or do whatever I want. I mean, of course, in the good interest of the team. And when Nitish unfortunately suffered a finger injury, there was a meeting, and then they announced that I would be the vice captain. Obviously, a very proud moment for me. And the best part about it was Gigi sir. He would always point, and he would always tell me that you stand in the slips, you adjust the field. You are the vice captain. You take care of the field. You want to change someone, you change it. You wanna make a decision, and if Shreyas is far, make it. No one will judge you, and we are confident that you will do it well. So I think that in itself adds so much confidence to you as a player. You suddenly feel like, okay, I own this place, and when you own a certain place, there comes care and there comes so much love for it, passion for it, that you end up doing everything in the interest of the team, and that's what you saw. Like, I remember batting in almost all the positions for KKR last year, be it open, 1 down, 2, 3, 4. I remember batting at 8 also in one game. So the spirit was so good, the backing was so much that it didn't even cross my mind that, okay, I'm batting out of position. What will happen to me? Next year is the mega auction, this, that. Nothing came in my mind. So I think credit to the management for maintaining such a good atmosphere and giving players like me the opportunity to not just show skills through cricket, but also leadership as well. So in that sense, personality development as well.
Devashish said, not all is bad about Gautam Gambhir.
Yeah, there's a misconception about Gautam Gambhir, especially means obviously he's a very expressive kind of a person. Means obviously much like Virat Kohli. Obviously, being a Delhi guy, obviously you have that thing about being that guy from Delhi. Gargi will be the perfect one to tell whether Delhi guys do look like this, because that's a thing about Gautam Gambhir. He's very expressive, and that is somewhat misunderstood. But having said that, I think he's a huge Shahid Bhagat Singh fan. He cherishes that crest. He cherishes that tricolor. If there is any one individual in this Indian team apart from Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and others, it has to be Virat. It has to be Gautam Gambhir, because he has always cherished the Indian color whenever he has played for India. Be it the coach now, means he has always relished challenges. Yes, things have not been that great in the start of his
Devashish,
coaching career,
internet has
but you
kind
can
of ditched
count
him.
on Gautam Gambhir 100 times, 200 times, because he will be the first man.
Yeah, Devashish is. We heard Devashish there. Devashish has given Gargi the enormous responsibility of representing Delhi now. She's
Is it
Maharashtrian, by
okay?
the way. She's from Nagpur, not Delhi. Having said that, Gargi, take that responsibility. The Gautam Gambhir story that Devashish just has given you the charge. Gautam Gambhir, expressive, all of that is taken, and not all bad. Venkatesh Iyer, the key point, he empowers. This is the test of Gautam Gambhir. Yes, bad series, but Gautam Gambhir will also know that this is the series that could define him as a coach. Your thoughts?
I mean, as someone who was born in Delhi and spent a lot of years of my life here, I would agree with Debashish when he says that Delhi people are very, on the face, very intense, very hustlers. I would call them hustlers, because that's the culture of Delhi, right? And with being so straightforward, with being so honest about everything, you have there leaves an error of having being misunderstood, is what I'm trying to say. And that's what I think happens with Gautam Gambhir as well. He's brutally honest, he's brutally on the face and very straightforward, and that sometimes either is, it's on the spectrum of extreme. It's either very good or either very bad. It's there's no middle for it. And I think that's why Gautam Gambhir might also be misunderstood by a majority of the crowd. But I think that's the kind of change we need in the dressing room. Before Gautam Gambhir became the coach, that's what I said as well. Maybe we need someone who's just going to be incredibly straightforward with everything, with all the decisions. And we don't know what went wrong in the New Zealand series. Could it be that the management got it wrong? Could it be that Rohit Sharma got it wrong? Whatever it was, I think uh, it was a very good realization for the Indian team to understand that even though they're one of the best, they're not always the best, and there's still a lot of room, a lot of improvement to be made.
Ishan Shahne, Ramit Mukherjee says Gambhir is realizing personally attacking Ravi Shastri not a good idea. Forget that. Also, I think the captain and the coach he means not on the same page at the moment. Rohit is missing Rahul Dravid. But if we go back and see Rahul Dravid's start in England was horrible. He lost that test match despite being a 380 chase. A 380 chase in England, 90 times out of 100 you should win with a good bowling attack. He did not win in South Africa. Rahul Dravid, despite a weak South Africa, did not win in South Africa, lost. Even the second time round, he lost the first test, only won the second. He lost the World Cup at home. He lost the T20 World Cup. Only the last World Cup Rahul Dravid won, and it seems, again, our memory is so short. Rahul Dravid is now the iconic coach. He's not. If you take a look, Gautam Gambhir has had a bad start. If he has a good series, he will also have the success that Dravid had. Shastri, people have memes about him and all of that, but it was Shastri who won you 2018. Shastri who won you 2021 as coach. Look at his record. How many people give credit to Ravi Shastri? Ishan Shahne. Can Gautam Gambhir do the job?
Definitely, Boryata. Again, it comes to the same factor here that possibly unfortunate what happened in this test series, but both Virat Kohli and Gautam Gambhir are in the similar boat at the moment. Both of them face a similar problem of coming back, and both of them have the potential of coming back. If you asked me another name, and if you told me, can this person do this, I possibly would have said maybe not. But Gautam Gambhir, as a personality, as a player, what we've seen, as a coach as well, we've known that this is someone who likes a fight, just like Virat Kohli. So both of these two together make the perfect team, in my opinion. So if you had to frame a team to send to Australia, and if you were to list it out, can this team or can these two individuals frame a comeback? You would say yes, because this is exactly the two players that you want in your side to possibly lead that sort of comeback, Boryada. So definitely, I feel obviously a lot of comments are coming here that obviously Gautam Gambhir hasn't lived up to expectations and potential, which is expected. Obviously, the crowd and the audiences like to see your team win, but you have to understand it's a long tenure here. You can't just judge someone based off one test series. Devastating test series loss, but it's not over yet. We still have Australia. We still have moments after that as well. Judge someone after the whole tenure is complete, in my opinion. That's the only fair way you can do this. You can't judge someone primarily off just one test series.
Dark Baksho, is there any excuse for this kind of loss? Who's giving an excuse? Rohit Sharma did not give an excuse. He said it was his fault. He didn't give an excuse. I don't think anyone has given an excuse. All of us are saying India played bad, horrendous cricket. Nobody is giving an excuse, boss. We are all accepting, but we are looking forward. So, what do you want us to do? Keep crying? When we lose a family member, what do? We cry, but we come back, right? You come back after a bad period. You have to come back. What do? The world will not come to a standstill. And one of the things that you need to do, now Gargi Raut will play that clip for us, is red ball cricket, Ranji Trophy, domestic cricket. How important is domestic cricket? MSK Prasad talked to us about it. Someone who is prioritizing domestic cricket, someone who turned it around in Australia in 2020-21 is Ajinkya Rahane. Ajinkya Rahane spoke to us, a throwback interview about the importance of domestic cricket. Gargi Raut, play that clip before I take closing comments from everyone.
And for your team. So yes, red ball is the format.
How important is Ranji Trophy to get India's red ball cricket in that zone again? Because clearly it has not happened for 2 years. So your thoughts on that? Second question, going back to the basics again, as part of Mumbai you will play, Prithvi will captain. Going back, you captained India, but to go back to domestic cricket and play, your thoughts on that?
First of all, I'm really happy that Ranji Trophy is happening, and as I told you that thankful to BCCI जिन्होंने रणजी ट्रॉफी करने का ये अपॉर्चुनिटी सारे प्लेयर्स को मतलब अभी मिलेगा. So I'm really thankful कि रणजी ट्रॉफी हो रहा है because of our BCCI. And going back to basics, as you said, इसी के वजह से मैं यहाँ पर आया हूँ. 5-6 साल रणजी ट्रॉफी में परफॉर्मेंस करके, डोमेस्टिक में परफॉर्मेंस करके मैं यहाँ पर आया हूँ. सो बहुत बार होता है कि आप इंटरनेशनल में जाते हो और एंड देन सडनली यू कम बैक टू रणजी ट्रॉफी और फर्स्ट क्लास क्रिकेट. वो माइंडसेट नहीं रहता है. बट फॉर मी इट्स ऑल अबाउट whatever cricket I play, whatever team I play for, it's all about giving my best, playing with that attitude. And I feel whoever is available, they should look to play Ranji Trophy. अगर कोई मैचेस नहीं है, शेड्यूल में कोई गेम्स नहीं है, they should look to play Ranji Trophy. अगर बड़े प्लेयर्स या सीनियर प्लेयर्स आके रणजी ट्रॉफी खेलेंगे तो इस टूर्नामेंट का और मजा आएगा.
Shomit Chakraborty, Ranji Trophy, importance of Ranji Trophy, and because of this basic skill, Winning Trophy, Bharat Ramraj covered it. KL Rahul was trying to perfect himself there. Is KL Rahul the man to open in Australia with Jaiswal if Rohit Sharma is not there? Shomit Chakraborty.
So I think they will open with KL and Jaiswal. I think they will do that because if Rohit doesn't
Come closer.
doesn't
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. So what I'm saying that I think they will. If Rohit doesn't play in Perth, the Indian team will open with KL and Jaiswal. I don't think you can play Abhimanyu Ishwaran in part in the first test, especially at part you cannot play Abhimanyu Ishwaran. Although he is the reserve opener in the side, but we know we have been part of that series in England when Abhimanyu was with the team, and the way he batted at the nets, that didn't inspire any confidence, and the team management decided not to open with him, and then they decided to promote KL up the order. So I think it will be, although Rohit has said that the team wants KL to settle at number 6, but horses for courses. KL, I believe he will open the innings, and that's the logical choice. What to do if Rohit doesn't play? That's the logical choice. And one final thing that's very uplifting to hear from Ajinkya again. I had a conversation with him 4 5 days back, and he is a cricketer I have a massive respect for. The way he carries himself, and so whatever he said about the domestic cricket, I think that should every youngster should listen to this interview. And I mean, this is something you pick up from a senior, and that's why Ajinkya has been so successful as a cricketer. And it's very good that the BCCI has decided to send KL Rahul to play matches with the India A team. You would get a feel of the conditions.
Agni, your thoughts before I go to Ishan, Bharat, Gargi, and Devanshu, all of them. That KL Rahul, possible opener, maybe a little unfortunate in KL Rahul because one time number 6, one time open, one time 3, being kicked up and down. It's not easy, but again, for the sake of the team, he might just have to do that job. Agni?
Yes, Boryada, absolutely. See, a lot of things are unfortunate, but you have got to turn the unfortunate things into fortunate things. And for KL Rahul, this might be just the golden opportunity he's been looking for. I mean, he's coming in at 5, he's coming in at 6, he's going up and down the order. But you face the red cherry in Perth, first test, Border Gavaskar Trophy. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger and better than this. And you know you are the more experienced of the two, Yashasvi Jaiswal and KL Rahul. You not only more experienced than Jaiswal, you know you are the one of the most experienced batters in the side in the absence of a certain Rohit Sharma. So this might be the golden opportunity. See, if I was KL Rahul, I would look at it exactly this way. This is my shot to glory. This is my chance to reclaim my throne, to reclaim my position in the Indian batting team. A lot of things have been said about Sarfaraz Khan replacing KL Rahul, but let's not get there. KL Rahul should definitely open with Yashasvi Jaiswal because Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins, maybe even Boland or we don't know. Lion maybe on a Perth track. First test, down under, Border Gavaskar Trophy. You definitely need KL Rahul. Moreover, KL Rahul has opened in overseas conditions before and he had an extremely good record in England. So backing him to do well in Australia, in down under, and definitely seeing KL Rahul as the opening partner of Jaiswal.
Very, very strong comments there from Ogni. Bharat, if I can come to you, if KL Rahul opens, so it becomes Rahul and Jaiswal, Gill at 3, Kohli at 4, Pant at 5, Jadeja at 6, maybe Washington Sundar at 7. After that, who? Bumrah, Siraj, Akashdeep, I get. Are you going to play Sarfaraz Khan in the middle as a batter? Do you play Nitish Reddy? Because you don't have anyone else with Rohit Sharma not there. Or you draft Sai Sudarshan in. What's your take, Bharat Ramraj? Who's got to get that extra batter slot? Nitish Reddy for all-round ability, batting all-rounder at one point in time opened in domestic cricket, or Sarfaraz Khan, or you draft in someone like a Sai Sudarshan, Bharat Ramraj.
I like Ritesh Reddy. I interviewed him once. He's a nice guy. He's an upcoming cricketer, but I think he's more like a project at present. Nitish Reddy as an all-rounder in Test cricket is more like a project that is to come through the process. He's like a rough diamond who needs to be polished.
Bharat, Tomogno Basu has added the name of Dhruv Jurel, also batted very well. Add Dhruv Jurel into that list also, please.
He's like a rough diamond who needs to be polished. His skills. One problem I think Nitish Reddy has is he keeps chasing deliveries outside off. So at a stadium like Perth where there is bounce, he could we could really come under scrutiny. So I'm not very sure about him, but he's a good swing bowler. Having said that, he was getting nice shape away from the right-handed batter in the Australia versus India game, but his batting I'm not still convinced. it is there as far as the longest format is concerned. His first class average is also 20. So I won't take him. The only thing I would add with Sarfraz is I'm not too sure he can keep playing those ram shots. He can keep playing those what can you say, uppercuts at Perth, because the track is much quicker. So I'm not very sure either. So I will look for something else. Maybe an unpopular. It is something that is an unpopular opinion. I might look at another pace bowler in Harshit Rana, because he can also bat a little bit. Someone who can give you some runs, and is a tall hit the pitch bowler. I think India need one tall hit the pitch bowler at least. So I might look at him, because considering the fact that I don't think Nitish Reddy is still there as an all-rounder. Dujurel, I like him as a player, but I don't think India will select him currently. But I think he's the kind of player who can play in alien conditions and play well against fast bowling, which he showed it. The first ball he played in Test cricket against Jimmy Anderson's outswinger, when he covered his off stump and left him. So he's someone who is for the future, but somehow I have an unpopular opinion that I will go for the tall hit the pitch bowler, and obviously pick Washington Sundar as well in Harshit Rana, because he can also bat a bit.
So Bharat Ramraj is saying, Devashish, send 4 fast bowlers: Jasprit Bumrah, Harshit Rana, Akash Deep, and Mohammad Siraj, plus a Washington Sundar, plus a Ravindra Jadeja. Will India's batting not become too thin? Already a pretty fragile batting lineup. Devashish said.
The reason I said is I'm not very sure Nitish Reddy can score too many runs. So I'm not sure he can score more than 20 runs.
Okay.
Why
Devashish
not
said.
look for wickets?
Burida, I feel that team management has to make a call. Means obviously I do understand that Sai Sudarshan is not a part of that test squad, but given that he has done well in that first match, and so if he does well in the second match as well, then since he has accustomed to the conditions, yes, Indian team will be traveling to Australia on the 10th or the 11th. They will have a training session. Obviously, they have opted to not play that intra squad match. But given the form he is in, I would rather love to see a Sai Sudarshan being drafted in ahead of Abhimanyu Ishwaran. Simple fact is that Sai Sudarshan has done well in the conditions, got runs. You need players who have got runs. You need to have players who have the confidence, and have accustomed to the conditions, rather than drafting a player who is low on confidence, who hasn't got runs behind, who has looked out. Stone was looked like getting out every time. So I would rather love to see. Don't go by the thing that you have a test squad. If Rohit Sharma is not available, why not get in a Sai Sudarshan immediately and get him to open the batting along with Yashasvi Jaiswal?
Just add a point. Just add a point. I won't pick Ravindra Jadeja either. So I will pick an extra batsman there, maybe someone like Sarfraz, whoever it is at number 6, and go with Washington Sundar as my lone spinner, because he gets that overspin and pick 4 fast bowlers.
So 4 fast bowlers, 1 overspin because of that Washington Sundar. Ishan Shahane, your team, possible options.
KL Rahul, Jaiswal to open Boryada. Washington Sundar obviously will be a part of that squad. A lot has been spoken about Sarfraz Khan. I personally don't really believe he might. He will possibly struggle in Australian conditions, but again, it comes back to the basis of, you've invested in a player here. He's had a tough time the last 2 outings, but this is someone who can score runs. This is someone who also likes taking on a challenge. Maybe his short selections might not be the most apt for Australia, but Boryada, if you're given someone a chance after so many years of toiling in domestic cricket, he deserves at least one more opportunity in Australian conditions to prove himself. So I would stick with Sarfraz Khan, Boryada. It's a bit of a gamble here, but I would like to believe that Sarfraz can come good. Maybe it's going to be a challenge for him, but I would like to see him come good.
So one comment from, who is this? Ravi Shankar Kumar. His team is Gill, Jaiswal, Rahul, Kohli, Pant, Jurel, Jadeja, Sundar, Siraj, Bumrah, Prasidh Krishna. Where is Akashdeep? In this form, you want to drop Akashdeep with so many Australian left-handers there. The bowler bowls very well against left-handers, Ravi Shankar Kumar. I think Akashdeep definitely merits a place. Tanmoy Shaha, Devashish sir, if Abhimanyu scores 100 in the next test with Sai getting a duck, will you still say this? Devashish sir, come on, take that. Will you still say this? By the way, belated happy birthday to Devashish sir from on behalf of all of us.
First, let Abhimanyu Eshwaran score 100. First, first Abhimanyu Eshwaran score 100. Yes, he hasn't done well. Yes, he has scored tons and tons of runs in domestic cricket, and he comes from Bengal as well. So there is no bias in this. But then let him score runs in testing conditions. So far he has yet to prove. Means obviously almost 8,000 runs in the first class runs, but you need to score runs in testing conditions, which Sai Sudarshan has already done. So best of
But
luck to Abhimanyu Eshwaran if he scores run. Okay.
I'll give Gargi Rao the closing comments. Before that, some Pragyanshu Nayak. अगर विराट कोहली एज अ कैप्टन हार जाता तो तुम लोग रास्ते में उतर जाते. भाई मेरा, विराट कोहली के कैप्टनसी में 36 पे ऑल आउट हो गए थे, तब भी सेम सवाल उठाए थे हम लोग, टर्न अराउंड कहां से होगा. हम लोग रास्ते में नहीं उतरे, तभी भी सेम सवाल पूछे, टर्न अराउंड कहां से होगा, टर्न अराउंड कहां से होगा. अभी भी सेम सवाल उठा रहे हैं, टर्न अराउंड कहां से होगा. विराट कोहली के अंडर में वर्ल्ड कप 2021 में हम लोग क्वालिफाई भी नहीं कर पाए दुबई में. हम लोग ये सवाल नहीं, रास्ते में उतर नहीं गए थे. देवाशीष और मैं दोनों उस वर्ल्ड कप में थे. सो सवाल सेम होता है. टीम जब अच्छा खेलता है तब भी सेम, कि हम लोग उसको भगवान मत बना दो. कोई प्लेयर भगवान नहीं होता है, सब क्रिकेटर में फ्लॉ है, सारे स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन में फ्लॉ है. इसीलिए उसको भगवान मत बनाओ जैसे तुम लोग बना देते हो. विराट कोहली भगवान नहीं है, विराट कोहली मॉर्टल है. विराट कोहली डेविल भी नहीं है कि आज विराट कोहली 2 मैच खराब खेल गया, विराट कोहली को मारने लग जाओ. मत करो. That is the problem with most people. So थोड़ा सा rationality रख लो. Gargi Raut on the eve of Virat Kohli's birthday, as I said, we wish him well. We want him to perform. But closing comments, what is your team for the first test match? Tomorrow we will discuss more. But what is your team? Assuming Rohit Sharma is not there. If Rohit Sharma is there, then it becomes a straight call. Because then it's more or less decided. Washington Sundar comes in, Rohit Sharma opens with Jaiswal, Gill, Kohli, Pant. And it just starts to follow. KL Rahul at number 6. But if Rohit is not there, what would you do, Gargi Rao?
But before I talk about the team, I just like to go back to the point that you made right now, that the sadak pe aa jata wala comment. This is the thing about Rev Sports, is that we constructively do any sort of criticism because all of us have played the sport at one level or the another and know what it's like to criticize and what it's like to be criticized as well ourselves, and we can do it technically, analytically, without being nasty. And I think that's what makes us different from other platforms as well. Having said that, I would 100% have KL Rahul in my team. I would make him open alongside Jaiswal. And then, of course, or you can have him at number 6 as well, KL Rahul. But I would definitely have Akashdeep, and the rest would stay the same.
But 1 second, if you have him at 6, who opens?
Then Gill, Jaiswal, Kohli.
So you get Gill to open.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Yes. Okay. So that's the other option that Gargi Raut is suggesting. Gill, maybe not, maybe yes. This is a debate that will continue. Again, a very constructive show. I love these shows. Tomorrow, we've got another very special interview coming up. R. Sridhar, decoding the Indian mindset, what it needs. And it tells us exactly what happened after the 36 all out. What did Ravi Shastri do? What did the players do? What happened that night? How they turned it around? How the Australian cricketers and other cricketers had written them off. He talks to us about Mohammad Siraj becoming who he is, the Gill debut in Melbourne, the Siraj debut in Melbourne, and the rest of the series, which is historic. So that special interview coming for you tomorrow. And of course, all of us will join at 5 for a very special show. But keep watching. And if you're a football fan, যারা football ভালোবাসেন, তাদের জন্য some massive stories are, দেবাশিস হাসছে, some massive stories are coming. I can guarantee you this, আপনারা যদি মোহনবাগান সমর্থক হন, তাহলে এই সপ্তাহে যা আপনাদের জন্য থাকবে সেটা কখনো আপনারা দেখেননি. Multiple exclusives coming your way, we can guarantee you that. On that note, thank you very much to all my guests, Devashish, Ishan, Bharat, Gargi, Shomik, Ogni or verticalটা সারা ইয়েতে চেঞ্জ করতে পারেনি, ওকে ওটা করাবো. But we will get, and it's good to have Ogni on the show. insisted to you come. উনি ওর অ্যাক্টিভিজমের জীবন থেকে রেকর্ডিং এর জীবন থেকে সরে এসে স্পোর্টস জার্নালিজম করছে, which is good.
Can I put in one last comment before we end this
বলো
show?
না।
It has been a very constructive and logical show. Just let me say one last thing. The last test, I was just googling about the test matches. The last test the last test in Sydney is supposed to end on 7th of January. So 7. So we will win Border Gavaskar Trophy. It's Thala for a reason. The last test ends on 7 is an indication we will win Border Gavaskar Trophy. I'm saying this on record. This is Thala for a reason trophy. We'll win this trophy.
Ogni, I know you are an eternal optimist. Rohit Juglan is the second. But this analogy, even the biggest Thala fan will find it, trust me, he or she will be blown that this is also a comment that can come. Anyway, hopefully Ogni is right. Your logic is wrong.
The team composition and play where and all. I think going into the test, we would see almost all the players.
Shomik, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
And the team composition, that is absolutely fine. But I think the pessimist in me is saying that going into the boxing test, by the time the boxing test comes, we'll be using all our resources.
No problem. We might use all our resources. Even the last time we did, but we ended up winning. So if that happens, who cares? That's fine. Yes, Ogni.
The second test is between 6th to 10th December. 6 plus 1 plus 0. You tell me how much it sums up to. I'm telling you.
Oh, now it's time. Now it's time to end the show. It's absolutely time to end the show. We are now degenerating into complete madness. But I will tell you one thing. If Shomik Chakraborty can fix his microphone, India can also fix what is going on with them. So Shomik, you start the process. You start the process, and trust me, our batting will get fixed. And in this, Ishan and Gargi are your coaches. It will be Bharat also. Reverse manner. So 3 of them are responsible for getting you to fix your microphone. The Indian batting will get fixed. But on that note, thank you very much, folks, for watching. We have a blast at Red Sport. We love it. We love